Hello and welcome everyone. Just did one last tech check. My name is David, for those of you who don't know me. And let me just put this earphone away. And this is the Oz Information Security stream, the very first one. Actually, that's not true. Last week did a test stream and it sort of went well. One thing that I forgot to do is enable back the mic after we did the transition, and we went on for like 5 minutes. So obviously the VOD isn't going to be available for that one, but it was really meant to be just a test stream. You didn't miss anything. I think we only did just try hack me. The complete beginner path was meant to go away, but I looked at it this weekend and it was still there. So not sure if it's going to stay because people wanted it to stay. But we just went through with Ava, who is not going to be on this stream because she's attending a class and she's just across me, but she's very, very busy. So I'm going to be the host for this stream. And we have a ton of people joining us today. So I need to greet the folks who just joined and followed us. So let me see. Boric K or Boric K probably, more Hungarian. I am FDDN. Isn't FDDN something to do with fiber networks? Miklos Keki, Wowbeater 08, Hacker Dog, and Fraga Guccio. Fraga Gluco, sorry. New followers, thank you for the follow. Hope everyone is having a wonderful evening or afternoon in US time, and it's probably very, very early in the morning for Australia and for the Pacific region, so probably others are not with us. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Here the weather changed and it's still, I think, kind of rainy. We actually had a hailstorm this early afternoon, and then some snowing. So pretty interesting how the weather changes these days. But we really hope that everything went fine. We have our car outside, and we're a bit concerned about the hailstorm, but I'm pretty sure it will be fine with just small little pieces of ice. So today is meant to be a stream where we're going to mostly deal with blue team related topics. And I thought that in the past month or so, there were a couple interesting PCAP challenges that I want to go through. I checked 2 of them, and then I noticed that there are some new ones from the same person, Brett Duncan, who's an Internet Storm Center handler. They frequently have these challenges, and I wanted to try out a couple of tools. So hopefully today we will have time not only to go through the challenges, but also use tools like Security Onion. I haven't played that much with the new version, which is not really new as of today, but I haven't got the time to really explore the version 2. And so this is a pretty good opportunity to use the new version of Security Onion, or the current version that is, and then use the import PCAP feature. So that's pretty much the idea for today, and then we will see if time allows, we might see other tools that I haven't checked out when I looked at these, some of these challenges, not all of them. And actually, it was a long time ago, so I'm probably going to mess around a little bit as we go through the challenge. I think I have the I don't have the backseating allowed tag. Let me just change the tag here. Backseating allowed. So if you see something that I'm doing and it's something that you think will not work, then just let me know in the chat. So and speaking of the chat, I see we have also a new follower, Havaga. I'm just pronouncing it as it looks the most obvious. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. How's it going? Now, for those of you who were not here in the test stream, if you want to know what we're going to do today, we have a couple commands using a bot. And if you want to see, for example, the topic for the stream, you can use the !WhatsApp. So just try to do this. I really hope that I updated it and it's not the previous streams one. Alias doesn't exist. Okay, let me just try to check this one. Maybe I had a typo here. So technically this is our first stream. Expect to see some glitches. That's weird. Maybe it's the alias. I'll fix it later. So anyways, today we're going to go with maybe the URLs. Not sure. Anyways, so today we were going to look at PCAPs, and I will have the links. I'll drop them in the chat if you want to follow along. Wonder if the how hacker works or everything is broken. Yeah, that one works, and it says I'm 85% hacker, so this is just a small little thing. I'm not sure what's going on with the WhatsApp one, but I'll check it. Maybe we'll do a break and I will try to fix it. So I planned to go through some of the interesting events of the Infosec world, and that kind of consists of crunching through the most interesting news. I don't want to spend too much time on reviewing news, but if you have something interesting, then drop it in the chat and we can talk about it a bit. I think the most interesting ones, and you switch to the view here. I think the most interesting one today and throughout the weekend was the attacks on Ukraine. And the first article that I saw was from The Guardian. Probably you saw the same kind of coverage, and I haven't seen much on Infosec Twitter. This came much later, I think days later, and today I'm seeing a couple things covering it. So some of the critical infrastructure of Ukraine was attacked, and this followed a couple of tweets from organizations like Mandiant. I think the most surprising one was from Mandiant, that they published this guide on proactive preparation and hardening to protect against destructive attacks. And it's a pretty, let me see if I have it open. There it is. I only downloaded it. I haven't browsed through the entirety of the document because it's 46 pages long. But it's a detailed guide with actionable points on how to protect critical infrastructure. And this is from their, my understanding is it's from their guide that they hand over to their clients as well. So they kind of distill it down into this detailed document. As you can see, it contains the MITRE attack references there. So super interesting, very technical and very detailed, and I think it's really cool that they published this. Obviously, they use it as their better news coverage and marketing coverage as well. But it's not behind a paywall, or you don't need to submit your email address. I think it's a pretty interesting read. I definitely would like to spend a bit more time on browsing this one too. So this is probably what was mainly in the news. Then a couple of things on, so last week we had Patch Tuesday, and apparently some of the patches are a bit problematic. and not entirely where there should be. So there were some reported issues with the Microsoft patches. This is not the one with the HTTP sys vulnerability, but I can't remember which of the patched issues. But one of them is causing some reboot loops, which is pretty funny. But also, if you're in operations, it's the nightmare scenario when you want to apply the patches and then it's causing problems. We also had app hole security patches last week. And I think these are mainly issued to fix that vulnerability with their home app or home services app. I can't remember the one with that allows you to do the smart home automation. So there was a vulnerability in there, and patches are available for iOS and iPadOS. So that's where you would install it. We also had a Jenkins security advisory. Couple of things here. Most of them are the usual stuff. And we also have one command execution vulnerability as well. So the regular patch cycle is here, and if you're not patching, then eventually you're probably gonna get in trouble. Now, I haven't seen anything about the HTTP sys vulnerability, so it's probably a harder nut to crack. Let's hope it is something that will not be a kind of headache as Log4j was only a few weeks ago, but we'll see. So this is all for the news section. I only collected these few that looked interesting. There was also the recent arrest of a hacker group Revel and some members of it. If you looked at Twitter, you saw all the pictures and video footage on the arrests. And I saw a few people commenting on it, but I haven't really got the time to take a closer look. So what about you? Is there anything? I see we have plenty of people viewing the stream. So do you have any other interesting thing that you saw in the news and want to talk about it before we progress further? I think the Reveal one was pretty funny, and the first thing that I saw was the VX Underground Twitter handle, which is probably a multiple person, and they had a couple pictures of it, and I think they were the first ones to hit the Infosec Twitter, at least the little bubble that I'm seeing. I don't see anyone else dropping in from the news. Any other topics? So moving on with this stream, the plan for today, like I said in the announcement messages, is to analyze PCAP files, and we're kind of going to follow this structure for Mondays. I try to cover topics that are related more to the blue team side of the house. Then on Wednesdays, more red team, offensive security related topics. And then Friday, well, I want to do something fun, and that's going to be either some sort of tool creation, tool building, or hardware hacking related things. I do have a few things that I need to learn and test. I do want to perform glitching attacks and use various platforms to perform them. But first we need to build a few of the tools that is required for that. So I have a few streams planned where, yes, it will involve some limited amount of soldering, even maybe putting together something like a power supply that we can control. things like that and things of that nature. So this week on Wednesday, I would like to spend some time on cloud security. There's one cloud themed CTF game that I played a long time ago, and then I discovered just recently that they have a new version. This is from the company Summit something, Scott Piper's company. I forgot the name. He's the creator of the original one, and they created a new one. I think it's Summit Route, the name of the company. If someone knows the name of the company, let me know. And I would like to spend some time on that, maybe some others as well. But I think the flaws to the cloud one also covers some defense side, so that could be interesting to see. It's not really red team-ish, but we'll see if it even fits in time. And then Friday, I would like to do a assembly of a small Wi-Fi sniffer device. We have a Wi-Fi assessment approaching about a month from now, so I thought that showing you the preparation, how we configure our gear, update our devices could be interesting. Well, not really the update part, so we're not gonna look at progress bars, hopefully, but more on the side of figuring out the attack methods, see if they work after the update. So I plan to bring in things like the Wi-Fi Pineapple, some custom devices like this one, and that's always going to be the theme. Now, because I usually order a ton of things on various online platforms, I thought that it would be also a fun section to have where I show you what I got with the mail. And today I did have some deliveries, but they're not particularly interesting. In the meantime, I would like to welcome Shadow Cow CH4. Thank you for the follow. How's it going? And I do have the content of the mail here, but there's only one device and it's actually not from today, but I thought it would be interesting, and that device I plan to use when we do the assembly for the Pi Sniffer on Friday. So let me just switch to the overhead camera and show you a bit. So I have different camera views here, and the mail today was, like I said, very blunt and uninteresting, because I ordered a couple of DC couplers for the camera. When you saw the big total view for the just chatting kind of thing, we have an issue with that camera, and I ordered these DC couplers. So that's all I got today with the mail, the standard DC couplers here. But it's a good opportunity to show you how we're going to work on Friday when we do the assemblies. If I can get out the DC coupler. So this is just a DC coupler for the Canon camera that I have, because there's some weird connectivity issues, and right now the solution that I have for the DC coupler is rather ugly. So basically it's I have the club membership card from a restaurant, and I have a mount, and I need to squeeze between the camera and the mount this plastic card to put the DC coupler cable in a position that does not put pressure on the battery holder door of the camera, because that pressure makes the camera shut off. And it's something that took me, I'm not even going to admit how much time to figure out. In the meantime, I was afraid that it must be the DC coupler and power adapter. So I ordered two new ones. I'm not sure if we need it, because apparently it's really just the issue of pressure being applied on the battery door. But yeah, that's what I got in the mail. two DC couplers. This one I haven't even opened yet, so I'm not even going to be able to do it. And the other thing I got, this is from AliExpress, is those little sacks here, which might look exciting, but in reality, these are just a ton of screws, which I need for cases and things like that. And originally I ordered 100. They sent me 500 of each type, so that's pretty crazy. Now I can squeeze together everything. So these are not really the interesting ones. But last week I got something super cool, and I haven't tried the coolest feature yet, but this is a game changer. And yeah, I'm not going to do unboxing on this, but if you're in IT or Infosec for that matter, this device is probably something that could be super interesting, especially if you spend time in the server room. This one here, and this is if you know these small little ultrabooks, or yeah, I think that's the proper term. So these ultrabooks, the GPD Pocket 3 is here, and I did the Indiegogo campaign founding it. And this device is absolutely amazing. It has a modular structure, and I already swapped the module. Originally, it ships with the, I think it's a USB 3 module that you can unscrew, get it out, and I'll show you on Friday, because this is not really the whole point for today's stream. But this one is a small KVM switch, and it allows you to use the screen of this laptop and the keyboard as an external screen and keyboard. And for me, that's something I always wanted. It's absolutely mind-blowing. I totally love it. I think it's amazing. I also love the fact that it has a proper Ethernet port on it, which we're missing even today's laptops. And it's something that even functions as a, well, sort of. I don't really like this functionality, but it functions as a tablet as well. So there's a stylus, an active stylus to it, and you can even draw with it. That's the device that I got with the mail, but I haven't got the time to really try it out. So we'll test it out hopefully on the Friday stream. I want to use the KVM module and connect the Raspberry Pi to it and see if I can control the Raspberry Pi through this device. Otherwise, it has Windows 10 running on it with all the drivers, so everything works, touch screen and whatnot. Super cool little device. And with the Indiegogo campaign, it was significantly cheaper as well. So this is all I have for the mail section. Whenever I'm gonna have some interesting devices coming through the mail, I'll show you it in the stream. And if you have any questions, then we can try it out. Actually, I can show you the boot up process, but I don't have any device here. So it's the standard GPD Pocket logo here, and it boots up Windows. It has a nice touchpad, so this is new compared to the Max 2. It's probably because of the that's interesting. I never had this one. Normally it boots up normally, but I think what's causing this, let's try it. So I'm not sure if it's visible, but now it's stuck on the boot screen. I might have accidentally pushed the system recovery, push the screen still on the side, and then it's not able to properly boot up the device. And I also did Windows Update, which might have been a mistake. There it is, the first big fail. So I upgraded to a new version, and I'm not sure if all the drivers are correct. So okay, that's awesome. But until Friday, I'll fix it. I might have to reinstall it now because the the Windows feature upgrade was seemingly a bad idea. I never had a problem with the feature update with the Pocket Max 2 or even the Pocket 2. Sorry, Pocket Max and then Pocket 2, and this is the Pocket 3. So, interesting. I think I just did the update and I was all happy and shut it down, and now it doesn't boot properly. So, typical. Alrighty. But I'll make sure that that one works. We have a few more folks jumping in. Starting to lose count there. So we have not for a 6F 30 73 and 65. I wonder if this is ASCII hex. Then we have Han Solo 2022, the Dan 997, and Minka. That's a cool one. Thank you for the follow, and hope you are having a great time. If you're just joining right now, we had some fun fails with the Pocket. Apparently, I will have to do the either the system recovery or the reinstall. So that's going to be my evening activity, I think. And we went through some of the news. Hopefully the exclamation news command does work. Okay, yeah, so we went through some of these things that you see in the chat and some more. And right now, I think it's about time to dive into today's main topic, which is PCAP analysis. And I'll just switch now to the desktop view here. And the two PCAP files that I would like to go through and do the analysis are from forensic challenges that you can find on the Sense Internet Storm Center website. And the two recent challenges were the October one and December one. I'm not sure why Brad skipped November. Probably he was busy or something like that. But we're going to do the analysis here. And if you want to follow along, initially at least, all you need is Wireshark. So if you have Wireshark installed, you can do the analysis with me. And this will allow you to see these challenges, how they're done. I have a heavily customized version of Wireshark. So if you have just installed Wireshark or you're about to install it, so you need to go to wireshark.org, I think, and download it. So if you're just installing it, it will look very, very different. And if you're interested in any of the customization that I made, just let me know. I will try to highlight some of it, but if I miss something, just ask me. Okay, so I see we have a lot of lurkers today, but if you have any questions, just let me know, stop me, and because the goal here is really to learn together and sort of discover all these tools and analytic options that we have when it comes to PCAP analysis. Now, with PCAP analysis, the biggest problem is that how are you going to get PCAP files? And it's a pretty common thing that folks ask me. The classes that I teach, we talk about various options. On-prem, your best option and probably the most cost-effective option is to use something like Port Mirror or the virtual equivalent of it. VMware does have the same kind of span and arch span functionality. That's actually how they call it, even though it's a Cisco term. Never really understood why they're not using the more generic term port mirroring, but it's what it is. And let me switch back for the overhead view for just a few few more times. This is probably going to be the last time. So things that you can do to get PCAP files. Port mirroring. Port mirroring is something that is, I think, available on any device, any switching device that you can buy today. Some of the more enterprise grade functionality will not be there, but I have here this Netgear one, which costs less than $30 on Amazon, or 30 euros on Amazon. And it's a 5-switch gigabit Ethernet switch, 5-port gigabit Ethernet switch, and it does have the port mirroring capability. I don't have any of these plugged in, but you have a web interface. You just go there and you enable port mirroring. That's it. So super duper easy and very, very cost effective. There are some downsides of using port mirroring, which I'm not going to go into too much details, but it's not a perfect solution because this is not really purpose built, but you can use this if you have nothing else. Some more expensive solutions include a network tap like this one. Now, I say more expensive, but this is still under like $100. This is from the company Dualcomm, not affiliated with any of the tools or companies that I'm showing here in the stream. I just like these devices and I think they work really well. If you have the correct Windows version, I'm kind of sad that this Pocket GDP now has to be reinstalled, or I'll see if I can do the system recovery. So this is it's a sort of network tap, not really. This is more of a hardwired port mirror, so this is still a switch and it works as a switching device. Everything is more mirrored from port 1 to 4 to port 5. And same limitations as port mirroring, but this is a device that is really purpose-built and it is really plug and play. There's no configuration needed. There's no actual interface on this. So it's a very, very dumb device, but it's very easy to use. Something more... It's still not really the enterprise grade part, but the cost-effective one. So if you want to try these out, we're talking about a couple $100 tops. Dualcomm also has these network taps, the eTap 1000, and there's also the this is already pretty. We're getting to the expensive land. They also have this one here, which is the 10 gig network tap. Both of them are fantastic. As you can see, for the 10 gig one, you need to also buy the modules, and you need 10 gig modules to get the max output from it. And there are two flavors of network tabs. Basically, you have the aggregating one where you have the inline ports. So line comes in, comes out, and you're monitoring the link, and everything is mirrored on this mirror side. That's where you connect your device that is capturing the packets. Then we have the non-aggregating one, like this one here. So you have network in and out on the two sides, and then two monitoring ports for the two sides of the traffic, which means you would need two network interface cards, and then you need to combine together the PCAPs. Either you merge together them with something like merge-cap, or you just loop through the PCAPs with something like, I don't know, T-Shark or TCP dump or things like that. So this is how you can get these packets. And I don't think it's very, very common today in environments to have these. Probably another common method is for capturing is the port mirror option. So the network tab option, I haven't seen it deployed only in larger networks, even though there are pretty affordable ones like the ones that I just mentioned. And the port mirror option is going to be often the possibility or the virtual version of it, which is still port mirroring with the same kind of speed limitation. The other methods are more, I think those are all more experimental. Like in a cloud environment today, you can use something like traffic mirroring in AWS. or packet mirroring in Google Cloud Platform. I haven't seen any environment deploying those because they're ridiculously expensive. And if you don't have on-prem PCAP, I'm pretty sure you will not have packet capture in the cloud either. So yeah, but packet mirroring is pretty affordable. And if you have nothing but a Linux box and you can run TCP dump, you can have full packet capture. Arguably today with encryption, the value of having full PCAP is somewhat decreased. But we still see a lot of traffic that is, especially on the internal network, that is unencrypted. So it kind of makes sense to have, maybe with some filtering, full packet capture on the internal. I wouldn't really say that there's a great value to have a full packet capture and monitor your internet link, which is sometimes referred as the umbrella sensor. Most cases on that side, you will be able to substitute the full packet capture with something like proxy logs or DNS logs. We still kind of have DNS logs, and that one covers like 80-ish% of the traffic that goes outbound, depending on the environment that you have. So still having full packet capture is something that is beneficial, but I think more for your internal network. That being said, whenever you deal with any sort of CTED game or traffic challenges, they always give you PCAPs. So we're going to look at the PCAP side as it was originally intended, but I want to try out a couple other things that are available and probably more realistic from the analysis side. Lots of environments will have some sort of network intrusion detection, or the cool term now is NDR. Or XDR. That's the, anyway, it's not really a new term, but like 2020 RSA conference buzzword, but I still see people using that. In the meantime, let me just welcome Morn Big and Monko Chubby. Thank you for the follow. How are you doing, guys? We're just about to get started on the analysis part, so you haven't missed much. Just the what was in the mailbox and the news section. So these challenges from Brett are going to use PCAP files. And Brett, by the way, is the person who maintains a really awesome site. If you haven't seen that one, let me just show you. It's malware traffic analysis, and this is where you can grab the PCAP file. I think I do have the PCAP. Let's check. Okay. So I don't already have the PCAP file downloaded, but if you want to download it, let me just drop this in the chat for you. If you want to grab it, and I have too many windows open. So we're doing the October 1 first. And I sort of remember what was the idea here. I think we also had 3 different emails included with the files, or was it the other one? It's all a blur. Yeah, we had in this one emails for the infected systems. Let's see if I can grab like a notepad or something. Just to open the files later, I will post it here, and then okay, I have everything downloaded, I think, already. So you need to download the emails and also the PCAP file here, and the zip files here are password protected. The password is on the website, but it's the most common password. It's infected. I don't know why Brett keeps it as a secret, but it's the common password that everyone uses to protect the PCAP files and artifacts, actually, when they pass it on to other analysts. So this is the section where you can download the files for this challenge, and the website is malware traffic analysis. I'm going to also drop this one here because this is absolutely awesome and cool. I think it has even a really good threat intelligence value, because you can go to the breakdown. You can see the technical blog posts are broken down by year. You can go into these and you will see that actually for later years, you will see that the entries, the blog entries, the blog posts are grouped by months. And each of them, if you look at the name, is about more common, like commodity type of malware, Emotad and Quackbot and Bazaar Loader and wonder if there's Cobalt Strike, ID, more Cobalt Strike. So it's the usual stuff that you see. And Brett has access. I think he works for Palo Alto Unit 42 now, if I'm not mistaken. And he has access to sensors and traffic that covers a larger slice of the intertubes. And he has visibility on ongoing malware campaigns or spam campaigns that are just about to start. And he does a quick analysis and puts the details on this website. I think it's absolutely amazing, and he does it without any support. He doesn't even accept donations because he had some problems with donations in the past. People thought that if they donate to the cause, then they can also use Brad as a resource, I think, or something like that. Anyways, so he does this just out of kindness and to help the community. And each of the entries will contain all the artifacts, a PCAP file that you can download if you just want to practice traffic analysis, and indicators of compromise. There are a couple other sites, maybe later streams we can explore those. Stratosphere Labs is a really awesome one as well, with detailed analysis, not just packet capture files and malware artifacts. But this site, absolutely one of my favorites. You have even the IOCs here, which you can load into your SIEM or intrusion detection system and see if you also have the same indicators. I cannot even count the number of cases where I had indicators that I found on this side on an active case that I was working on. So super awesome site. Absolutely amazing work from Brad. We have Gross Trebor, if I'm reading the name and the nick correctly, following us. Thank you very much for the follow. We're doing some PCAP analysis. I'm just explaining stuff before we can actually get started, but probably you're all eager to fire up Wireshark and do the PCAP analysis. So let's do that part. So these challenges for the Santa Internet Storm Center PCAP challenges or traffic challenges from Brad will always start with the explanation of the scenario. So let me just read this one real quick. So it's an Active Directory environment. We have 3 Windows clients which become infected, and each infection is based on an email. And the 3 emails that cause these infections are also provided. Your task: match each email to its infected Windows client. So I do remember this being fairly simple, but I think it shows some really good analysis steps. And there's the explanation on how you need to submit the solution. We're not going to really care for that. This game is already closed. And by the way, next time there's a PCAP challenge, now you will know how to participate and what analysis steps you need to make. You will have the chance, if you submit the correct solutions, to win a Raspberry Pi. So that's usually the grand prize, and they randomly going to pick it out from the people who have the correct solution for the challenge. And I think they do it bi-monthly now or monthly. Next one is probably going to be in February, because looking at the malware traffic analysis side, yesterday I saw that he has a traffic analysis challenge, but it's not an internal Storm Center one. So we'll see. There's a link for the PCAP download. So again, you have to click here and download it. I already have it downloaded in a folder, so I'm just going to open up for there. And yeah, he usually includes a couple of great tutorials, and the way my Wireshark is configured is very, very similar to what Brad has as a configuration recommendation and an example. And that's because by browsing through the site, I learned this from Brad, and then I just kind of took it a step further, and did my own customization on top of it. But changing your column display, identifying hosts and users, display filter expressions is like the basics of Wireshark, and exporting objects from PCAP file. I'm not even sure what that is. This is a tutorial on, yeah, so it's just using the export object feature, I think, which works really well on the protocols that are supported by Wireshark, and it's not a lot. DICOM, for some reason, my nose is itching, sorry, I keep rubbing it, but it's because I'm about to sneeze, I think. HTTP object parser, then IMF is for mail messages, SMB and TFTP. There's no FTP parser or object exporter, rather. There is an FTP dissector there, but there's no object extractor for some reason. So some of the common protocols are missing from Wireshark, but you can do some manual carving. I'm not sure if that's required for this exercise, but we can check. And I think that's pretty much it. So this is not that interesting. Display filter expressions, this is really on Wireshark and how to use display filters. I'm not gonna go there, but I do find the changing your column display one pretty cool. So you can check this one out to add things like port number. That's absolutely necessary. Yeah, he adds the port number, and there are a couple ones that I like to add, so you can check this one out as well. And I think for this challenge, because we have to identify the name of the systems and then the users, probably identifying hosts and users is a very useful one. And he talks about how to use DHCP, I think, MBNS, and also Kerberos, where you can find the information on the identity of the user, and you will also be able to see there's user agent for identifying the type of system that is running there. And yeah, with DHCP and MBNS, so that's NetBIOS name services, if I remember correctly. You will see the host name in the traffic, and this is in the clear. Same goes for Kerberos and identifying the username. I have these ones already put aside as a display filter, save display filter. So you will see how that's used as a shortcut. All right. So our task is to look into these emails and also the PCAP file. We'll go to my folder, and I try not to open these with an email client. Oh, you cannot see it probably, but Windows Defender alerted. So let me just disable it real quick, and I might have to download. So that's pretty interesting because it's alerting on this email, and it's actually, I can bring it up. So I got this alert from Windows Defender, QuagBot alert. So this is probably an attachment containing the good old nasty QBot or QuagBot, depending on who you ask. You know what? This is not deleted. So, or is it? Oh yeah, it just deleted it. But I can hopefully save it again after I no, it doesn't let me to open up the other ones. So I will have to grab again the email No, this is not the one that was alerting. It was the third one. Where do I have it? Malicious emails. Okay, so the other two, it's not alerting on it. So this one looks like some spam. And then there's an attachment, order 7-zip. I wonder if there's like a, is it protected with the, please check attachment in order to send an invoice payment. Waiting for the invoice bank details. So this is the usual unpaid invoice garbage that we see so many. And I was wondering if this is password protected, but it doesn't seem like it. So I wonder why, what was triggering Windows Defender in the other email. I'm going to disable Windows Defender now. It was just the UAC, sorry about that one. And I need to go back and grab the, which one is it that is missing? I think we're missing this one here. Let me just grab that one. Infected is the password. So we're missing this third one here. Please read this and confirm. Regards. And then there is the attachment, which we even need to decode here. Not sure if I feel like it. How we can do it. Normally with CyberChef we should be able to do this. CyberChef, everyone's favorite tool. we don't even base 64 or yeah, okay, so that's the name of the file here. I don't know if you know this, by the way. So chat, let me know if you know this. But did you know that there's this magic band thing that you can just click and it does the appropriate transformation for you? Because I didn't discover this until like a year ago, and I felt very, very stupid because I kept like figuring out the different transformations and encoding and whatnot. And all you have to do is you just click on the magic wand and it does it. You can even do it in series, so until it makes sense, it will do this for you. I think it's absolutely mind-blowing. So we have here a zip file. Maybe this was the reason why it was triggering. I'm not sure. Anyway, so we have here a zip file, and the important thing here is to identify the recipients here. So we have the first one here is for Marcus. We can try to follow the steps here. So we need to identify the name of the system and the user. And I think these are the actual email file names. Yeah, looks good. Okay, so first order of business is to, so these are dummies, is to just read the emails and see who is it for. So 1102 was for Marcus. Then this looks like Kevin Henderson. I'm going to prep. And the domain that we're looking at is Enemy Watch, apparently. I'm not sure if this is really a good honeypot network domain name. It kind of gives away the purpose, I would say. So Kevin Henderson is this one here, because I'm not doing it in proper order. Oops. And then where is the 2? So this is Agnes Warren. And I think this challenge is rather easy, at least at the start, because now what you need to just identify is these users and the system they're using. So But anyways, let's consider this as a sort of warm-up or something like that. So we have the usernames in the meantime. Crypto Supremo, thank you for the follow. So we're going to open now the PCAP file. And I already have Defender disabled, so shouldn't be a problem anymore. I'm always hesitant. So this is my dirty laptop where I do just casework, and I have the VMs on, so I never like write documentation or send emails to clients. And I'm always hesitant to permanently disable Defender, but I'm kind of like, I think it's just, so I have a couple of exceptions, but for example, these files are on my desktop, and I decided not to disable it eventually, but it always bothers me afterwards that I still have it, and it's catching the nastiness that I'm analyzing. And by the way, what I'm doing here is not 100% safe. I'm just being super lazy here. I do know what I'm doing, but for safety reasons, you probably don't want to, like you saw, deal with artifacts that are malicious and they are Windows specific artifacts or malware on a Windows system. I'm pretty okay with this because worst case, I'm just going to rebuild the laptop, and I already have one that apparently I have to reinstall. This is fine by me, but maybe when you're at home, and these probably the payloads are not calling back to any server that is currently up there because it's been months now, but just for safety reasons you might want to do this in a VM. And yeah, if you get yourself infected, then don't come to me. We're doing here analysis of potentially malicious files. So the attachments that you saw, one was alerting on Clockbot, so just be careful. If you have a VM, like a Linux VM, probably that's the best idea, or in a Windows VM at least, or use a Mac. So those should be fine for this type of malware at least. Love the hack. Welcome to the Aussie Infosec stream. Thank you for the follow. How's it going? I still need to fix the WhatsApp message. And it was complaining about the alias, so I might try to just do the fix now. I wonder if this one works, because I just realized that the error message was about that. Oops. So let me just give it a try. I have so many windows now. There it is. So apparently the SUP alias for WhatsApp is a bad idea, but I fixed it. So if you want to figure out what we're doing, check out the message in the Slack, and you guys can also play around with these commands. I'll try to bring in a couple others. I think there's also a question of the day that I set, so experiment with it. Don't just because I see a lot of you are viewing the stream but you're not really participating, so don't be afraid. Ask questions, that's definitely important. So I can keep on going and going because we're analyzing traffic and PCAP files, but if you have any questions, let me know. And we have the PCAP file loaded here. So let me give you a tour here, and I will try to, I wonder if the zoom works like this. What is the key combination that I need to hold? Is it Control or... I never know this one. So Windows key and plus should be, ooh, zooming in. Oh, this is rather ugly. Let me zoom in one more. So let me give you a tour on the PCAP or Wireshark interface rather. And I changed a couple of things here. As you can see, the columns are drastically different from the ones that you have by default. I also changed the layout here significantly, and this is the arrangement that I like, and I believe it's better suited for PCAP analysis. I'm not really sure who even uses the hamburger layout, but even more important than the layout is the time column here. That one is pretty easy to change. If you're looking at the default Wireshark, you probably want to go to, what is it, time and display format, and the default one is seconds since beginning of capture. And for me, that's like, I guess it's useful in certain situations. I cannot name a situation where this is actually useful, but this is the default. And for me, it makes much more sense to have the UTC date and time of the day. You can also use the system setting, but I do believe that UTC is the way to go. And we're just gonna leave it like that. The other thing that I'd like to change is the layout. This one can be accessed on Edit Preferences, and you have the layout. Now, the default hamburger one, let me show you how it looks like. The problem, for me at least, with the default layout is this part here. We are wasting precious screen space, real estate here. And this doesn't really help. Also, when you just open down, let me just try to find an interesting packet here. DNS, is there any HTTP traffic here? Oh, cool. So if you want to dig down because you want to see the HTTP headers, now you need to scroll here, and this portion of the screen is pretty much useless. So what I like to do instead is change this to the second one. And I still like to keep the packet bytes around. By the way, I don't know if you know this one, but we also have another pane here, the packet diagram one. So if you're learning about network protocols, this is a super useful one. Not to memorize the structure of the different protocol layers. I still don't get it why in college and at the university people are torturing students with remembering these. Like, why on earth would you do that? I don't get it. I don't see any value of memorizing it. There are some fields that, yeah, those are useful to remember, but like, who wants to remember all the various fields on like version 4? Like I don't know, like the type of service kind of things. It's not useful. We never actually figured out what to do with those fields. So anyways, it's just my rant. But if you're learning about protocols, this can be pretty handy. But I like to keep the default panes just in a different layout because this is really just a hex dump here. So I can put this one way to the side and then have enough real estate to see the packet details, because that's where the juicy thing is. I also have here a set of different filters already prepared. If you click on the plus icon, you will be able to save your filters. And I have a couple very, very simple ones prepared here for the various protocols because I don't want to type. Even simple things like HTTP. I don't want to type. Instead, I just want to push buttons. So I highly recommend having these. These are the common protocols here. And you will find this one useful if you just quickly want to get any of these. It's a shorthand that I like to have. And I also changed a lot the columns on the packet list pane. Aside from changing the time format, I also keep around the delta time, but sometimes I feel like, yeah, this is not necessary, and you can just hide that one if you right click on the column name. This can be useful if you're looking for C2 activity. Then totally missing from the default layout is the port number. So source and destination ports, everything except for the info column is something that I like to do right aligned because this way the numbers are in the right decimal positioning. This is particularly interesting for length maybe, and also cumulative bytes is something that is an extra column. Now the one that I like the most, and this one I totally got it the idea from Brad and I just extend on it, is the host column. This is a special one. And let me show you this one, because I don't think this is a trick that a lot of analysts are using, but it totally should. And this is a special column here where you have a set of display filter expressions, and whenever that field is present in the packet that you highlighted, the value will be displayed because these are in OR conditions. So you have here the HTTP host header. And this one is right over here because we're looking at HTTP traffic now. If I were to, let's see, we have the server name indication for TLS. So if I were to pivot to a different type of traffic, encrypted traffic, like TLS, in the host column, I'm no longer going to have the HTTP host field, because it's not present. We're looking at TLS traffic here. But if in the client hello message, I have the server name indication, that is the field that is going to be displayed here. So it's practically always the host name where we're connecting to. Astral04, thank you for the follow. How's it going? So the host field here is tremendously valuable because I don't have to perform any sort of correlation or lookup this way. I'm going to have this, if the information is present, I'm going to have it in this column. And instead of looking at this IP address, which I won't be able to identify that, oh yeah, it belongs totally to Microsoft. Or this one is a Bing IP address. I won't be able to tell this one, but by looking at this column, I have that information. I don't think we have like HTTP2 traffic. Definitely we don't have. I don't know if we have any quick. And I wonder if this works with. I probably should add one more here. Because so yeah, quick is what we have for HTTP free. I think I'm just going to add this one later, but the original quick protocol might still have it here. I don't know if we have any sort of indication here. I don't see the hello message either, so we don't have the entirety. And I don't know, do they have tags like the tag? No, quick. Crypto. Okay, I don't wanna deviate too much from our end goal, but quick also have a server indication there, and the original implementation, just like with HTTP2, which was the Speedy protocol developed by Google. Google started the development of HTTP free originally, and that's the Google Quick one. So you see here the display filter for the Google Quick. And I think a year ago, IETF took over, and now we have the IETF Quick implementation that you can see here. And I need to find where we have the server name indication for that one. So I need to add that one with another or portion for the display filter. But anyways, I think you get the general idea with the host field here. So this is what I like to use for my analysis. In a nutshell, I don't know if I forgot anything. I wonder if anyone has a question. If not, then I'll just start diving into the PCAP, because we need to still find out the system names. We have the emails, we identified the recipients. We should have these users displayed, maybe in traffic as well. I'm not sure if I wonder if I can just search for it. So I'm freestyling here a little bit. This is not exactly the way how I initially dealt with the challenge in October. But I wonder if we can do frame contains, and just to be prudent, I'll add this in quotes. Yeah, so not like this. How about just Marcus? So what I'm doing here is, instead of doing a search, I use the frame contains expression, which is it's a sort of shortcut. So I'm not only searching in packets, and frame contains means I want to search in all the bytes, but I am I'm not only searching, but I'm also filtering down the traffic. So this one has some Kerberos traffic. Okay, interesting. So we should be able to identify the system for Agnes based on that. And then we have Kevin. Okay, cool. So I wonder why Marcus is not there. Maybe Cobb is a better search term. Okay. Thank you, Maureen Vague. Yeah, I already got it here on the screen. So yeah, Marcus is not there, but Cobb is there. Wonder. Let me just take a quick look at it here. I'll dive later in. Huh. That's strange. We do have the string here. Marcus is not found. I wonder why is that. Now it's good. What did I? Macrus. Oh, there's a typo there. Look at that. But I wasn't manually typing this one in. Ah, interesting. So apparently there's a typo there, cause or not? No. Yeah. So this is Marcus, and it's Macrus in the email. Funny. Okay, cool. So a little correction here. I'm going to mark it like this, because this is valid from the email, but apparently there's a typo. I think I'll ask Brett. I will send after the stream ends. I will send him an email and ask him like, did you just had a typo in the username? Probably the email account that is using here is not tied to the domain user, so it wasn't a problem. Huh. That's funny. Okay, so we found an Easter egg. Yay! So that's the reason why we couldn't find the name Marcus, because we searched for Macrus, but in the PCAP it's Marcus Cobb. Okay, cool. And if you go to any of the resources that is linked in the challenge by Brad, you will find references to Kerberos and how to check like usernames using the Kerberos messages. Basically, you have to look for requests, and like here on the screen, you will find the CNAME string for the account that made the Kerberos request. And in this case, we have Marcus Cobb here with so the destination in this case is probably the domain controller. Do we have information on the domain controller for this challenge? Yeah, so I mean, we can figure out the domain controller here, but it doesn't mention who's the domain controller. But I think it's a pretty good bet that this is a domain controller. So I would say here the source IP address is going to be the system's name, and we have here a host name as well. So this desktop, this is I think just default name for Windows desktops, but I'm going to copy this one. I'm going to do a copy value here. Which one was this? Marcus, right? So that's the desktop, and let's take note of the IP address as well. The source IP copy value. So the copy value will allow me just to copy the IP address, because if I choose something like all visible items is everything that you opened in the details, value is just going to give you the name of the value, field name, just the name of the field. So here I would get source IP, source address rather, but I really just need the IP address. Okay, so one, we already nailed it just using Kerberos. There are other protocols, by the way, that can help us identify the system. So we can take note of the 2257. And if you look at something like DHCP or probably even MBNS is better. And we potentially might see, where is it? We have hardware address here, IP address, release time, server and fire. Client fully qualified domain name can be, no, not this one. Where is the, normally you should see the host name as well. I just cannot see it right now. Message that, oh, because it's an acknowledgement. So let's do request, maybe. That would make more sense. Client identifier, there's the MAC address. I should have noted the MAC address as well. Anyways, we just need the system name here, at least to complete the task. So you will also see the system name here. Is it the same one? Okay, by random chance, I'm looking at the same one, and we can like correlate our findings with the Kerberos one, so we see that this is indeed the IP address. And with the acknowledgement, we can verify who's the domain controller here. So it's actually the 2222 one. All right. We should also see here the other systems, but we don't know how they are tied to the username, and that's where the Kerberos part is really more beneficial. But we have one host here. I'm going to put this one aside just for now. So we don't know yet who's the owner, who's the user, but I'm going to take note of these. And the third one is, where's the, there's the, oh, I only have the, no, I have the host name. I don't want to have the FQDM because I really don't need the domain here. And then IP address. And we need to identify the user. So I can go back to Kerberos, and here I have, for the same exact reason, when I need to identify users, I have the Kerberos.cname string filter. So this will display every packet that has this field present. And so that's one way of doing it. Or we can just go back and search for Agnes and Kevin. I think that's probably more reasonable in this case, because we already identified that there's packets belonging to that. Ein klares Jein. Thank you for the follow. cool German names. So we're doing some PCAP analysis in case you're just joining in. And we still need to find Agnes and Kevin's system. So Agnes has the username present in this packet, and it belongs or comes from this system here, the CF1, which means this is the system for Agnes. And then by exclusion, Kevin should have the last one there. So we don't really need to search for this, but let's be prudent, verify it. So 87. I think that's all for the challenge part, actually. Let's check. Yeah, so here this was the only task for the challenge, and I think there should be a solution somewhere. I just forgot to bookmark it in advance. So let's do, I don't know, I'm gonna just search in the site and we can verify the answers. So you can also check the analysis that Brett does. I'm pretty sure it's sort of similar or completely different. I don't know. So there are multiple ways to skin a cat. You probably heard this expression, and he seemingly does it very, very differently. And now there's some additional interesting traffic that we can explore here, but just on the solution part. So we have Marcus, and we have Agnes, and then Kevin. So we got the correct answers here, and a typo that we discovered. But we haven't looked at any sort of malicious traffic really here. And that kind of analysis, I think we can do it, and it's probably better suited with other tools, not necessarily with Wireshark. But certain things that you can look at is what type of DNS requests you can see, what kind of servers are being accessed based on the host name. So we saw some HTTP traffic here. We can filter on oh, this is all probably I should do HTTP and HTTP host to filter out the multicast things here. And what I'm looking at here is any suspicious URLs or any suspicious domains that I can't recognize, like windowsupdate.com. Not really concerned about that one. You can even do some filtering, so we can do prepare filter and not selected, and then apply it. So we can filter out some of the domains that we recognize. Now for the small PCAP that we have here, which is 85-ish thousand packets, this is probably a feasible method. You also have under statistics cool things for HTTP, so you can check like requests, and this will do a breakdown for all the various domains. You can apply a filter on these as well, and just focus on the ones that really kind of stick out from the list of domains, and just find the ones, the twosies. You can see here that the others, after filtering out the Windows Update one, are all sort of suspicious looking for me. I don't really know the lancer.org domain, for example. And for all of these, we can dive in and reassemble the stream and just take a look at it. This is HTTP, so we can do this. And this gets us a 304, not modified. I wish Wireshark had a back button where I can just go back easily and I don't know, not forced to go to the history of the commands that I saw. So I think this domain is probably not super interesting. So we already solved the main task here. I'm just exploring a bit the PCAP file. I think when I checked out the challenge, I haven't done it. So none of these look super interesting. Yeah. So I personally would probably also filter this one out as well. Let's do it. For filter, not selected. All right, so we have here IP addresses, which sometimes people also refer as naked domains, which is a funny name to say that these are requests not going to a domain, but just an IP address. And usually this is not necessarily a red flag for me, but I always like to pay attention to these requests because very often malware campaign managers, let's call it like that, will just use an IP address instead of registering a domain and host the malicious file there. In this case, like this dat file is potentially something that could be interesting to extract even. This one here also, so all of these look kind of suspicious for me. This .top domain, not saying it's always malicious, but I haven't seen a lot of good things coming out of the .top domain. So we can check. So this is a PHP page here. Let's follow and see what happens, and potentially maybe the other request to main is also going here. Okay. So running it with Regis RV32. I mean, it can be anything to give the benefit of doubt, but this pretty much looks like a dropper, and then we have a binary file downloaded here on main.php. So this one looks like PowerShell dropper, creates a new web client, and then does a download, which will trigger this second request here for main.php, and that one returns what is the content type here? Content disposition attachment. So it's gonna download it as data.jpg, but in reality, this looks like an executable, a PA executable, and yeah, then the execution is through the usual like bypass method using regisrv, and then executing this file. So this potentially might evade some detection and some prevention measures like AV. That's pretty cool. So this is a standard dropper, and if you want to analyze it, you can also extract these out from the PCAP file. I'm gonna put a mental note on that, and we can do it later. What else do we have here? So we also have these .dat files, and note that the host here is the 158 one. Which one was that? 158. So this is Kevin's system, and this last one is also Kevin's. So they're probably related. There's also some random keyboard dense domain name here. Check this one. Okay, so this one seems to be unsuccessful. They just get a page here saying that the content was moved. This kind of happens often. Either there's some neat little trick that the attackers added, or the page is actually taken down and the content is no longer available. So this one, less interesting, I would say. And you can also check what's in. This looks like the same file, just a request made to. So probably here what happens is that the payload that the malware wants to download tries to reach out for the first IP address. I guess the content is not there based on the length. Or is it? Not sure. Let's not guess. Let's take a look at the stream. But I'm not sure if this is actually returned. Ah, there it is. There's an actual executable here. Okay. And what about the other two cases? Why is it going out? What's the time difference here? Well, this is kind of further away from each other in reality. We have 2 seconds apart. Requests going in. Not sure. Maybe it's just a very dumb logic. and it tries to fetch from multiple places, making sure that at least one of them is there. It looks like at least based on the name, the same file. We'll see if it's indeed the same. Can be just multiple payloads being dropped here. Okay. I'm kind of interested in these objects, so I'm going to use the object extraction feature of Wireshark. And okay, cool. So this one takes into account the display filter. I wasn't sure if that's the case. And we can try to grab these files. Do I still have... Okay, so Defender is still disabled. I'm going to grab these files. Well, the dropper one, not sure it's really interesting. Let's get that one as well. So I'm going to save all these. I can do save all. Let's just do it. I'm gonna drop it next to the emails. All right. So I have all the files here, and we can do multiple things. This totally blows my mind, and I'm pretty sure nobody who's currently watching ever done this. We never do this. I know but just amongst us. You probably know maybe a friend who has a friend who has a friend who has a distant acquaintance who heard that someone's dog's friend's owner once did this. But people upload stuff to VirusTotal, and they really should stop doing that. And I don't mean when you're working as an offensive security consultant and doing penetration testing, but Defenders should also stop doing that. At least not mindlessly uploading it. Eventually, yeah, everyone wants to upload the file, the unknown file, to VirusTotal and see the detection ratio. But when you're dealing with a case, why would people do that? The attackers are also monitoring VirusTotal, and not just VirusTotal, other places as well. But it's shocking what people do. So let's say that you want to do VirusTotal. You want to do a VirusTotal search, which is cool. Just don't upload the file. We can do things like calculate a hash. I like to use the built-in functionality for 7-zip because I can just click and I don't have to type. So we can look up the hash. Other methods also work. Doesn't have to be 7-zip. You can just use the what's the PowerShell one is like get file hash. You can use get file hash dash algo and use whatever algorithm you like. Maybe not MD5, but it's okay. And then you can look up the hash, and sure enough, this one 14 days ago. Really? How's that even? This is an old sample. Why would you analyze it? So you can look up the hash and see if something malicious is there. If it's just commodity malware, all good, and it's probably not an issue. But if it's not, then you're kind of signaling your attacker that you discovered their implant and now you're uploading it to VirusTotal. So bad idea, bad idea. But I know no one is doing it here. So looking at the results, let me see if I can make something out of this. We can also check the community one. No comments. I think I need to probably malware Trojan region. That's a typo. Okay, so not super informative. Okay. Which one did I forgot? What was it main.php that I calculated the value on? I completely forgot. I'm going to do it again. I think it was this. Yeah, so this was the actual executable dropped by the PowerShell dropper. Yeah. And kind of looks like Bazaar loader, which is just a pretty standard. So we have a PowerShell dropper that drops Bazaar, and then Bazaar usually drops Cobalt Strike, and that's it. Like 80% of the cases on the traffic, malware traffic that you see on there. So we just have probably Bazaar happening here. I'm not sure if it makes sense to check the PowerShell part, just for the heck of it. So I'm looking up the hash. I'm not even uploading the file there, and I can do some analysis and get some threat intel. This is the proper way of doing it, not uploading stuff. And the problem is, even if you think like, I'm gonna upload stuff to VirusTotal, but instead I'm going to search for the hash, and then I want to reanalyze it. There's gonna be a timestamp there for the time when you did the analysis, and you did the when you click in on this button. There's gonna be a separate timestamp there. So there's gonna be the upload time, and then I can click it just to demonstrate it. Like, I'm being a bad analyst here. I'm going to click on reanalyze. Solving the CAPTCHA. And there's going to be a timestamp there for the first time upload and the last time the file was analyzed. And yeah, it's a bad idea. Even just clicking on that button, because then you're not giving out that much information as the fact that someone just found a malware that was not in VirusTotal and then got uploaded. But you're still going to have the last analysis time here under details. So little known things. It's not just the submission, but there's also last. So if someone tries to submit it again, this will be updated, and then last analysis timestamp is always going to be under details. Okay, what else do we have here? We do have these files, and I'm wondering if they have the... Can I do multiple hash calculation on these? Yeah, I can, but it will calculate the hash for all three files together. Fantastic. So let's get this one. I'll take a note here. Just curious if this is going to have the... I'm not gonna dive into too much on analyzing the samples here. The goal here for this stream is really to do traffic analysis and not malware analysis. There are some excellent folks out there on Twitch if you're interested. OE Labs with Sergey and Sean is really cool. They have some cool streams. So yeah, these are apparently the same files, at least the first two. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that the third one is probably also the same. So let's check out this one as well. And I wonder if this is going to be malicious. Kinda. Phase.dll was the original file name. Fascinating. So this is a Yara signature match, and okay, based on the signature match, this is from Florian, so I'm kind of confident that he did his homework, and this probably identifies properly QBot there. I think this sample, are we doing time-wise? Yeah, this sample, we kind of depleted all the interesting part in it, so I'm going to leave it to you to explore if you want to further explore it. But we had the environment here, first infection. So there's some DNS traffic that we haven't checked yet, but I'm not going to dive in there. We saw this one. So let's see what he's saying about second infection. Yeah, traffic between. Does it say anything? Yeah, bazaar loader. Based on he does the sandbox analysis. Kind of sandbox is this? Okay, so this is triage. So I did I just did the Firestall hash lookup, but any other sandbox solution is fine. Okay, he also identifies the DLL as quackbot. So these dot files. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. He does the analysis very differently though, but that's fine. So that was the first PCAP file. And I think the challenge itself was made fairly easy because all you had to do was just the identification and matching of the emails and the usernames. But I'm very, very happy that we had the typo here. So I'm gonna just do a line here, and then we can continue with the other sample. That one is a little bit more interesting in my opinion. Lots of things going on in it, if I remember correctly. It's been a while, so I'm probably going to again stumble around a bit. So this one is another PCAP file. This was the December challenge, and this PCAP file will have, again, malicious traffic in it. There's an Active Directory environment. A Windows client becomes infected. You need to identify the infected Windows host computer, get the host name, user account name. So that's going to be pretty much, I think, the same kind of approach that we did just at the previous PCAP. And then date and time the infection activity began in UTC. A family of malware that used this infection. So again, I'll just drop this one in the chat. So this is the diary, and you need to go to the malware traffic analysis site and download the PCAP file here. Same deal, password is infected. Let me just close the Wireshark, and I need to get to the directory. I think it also have it on my desktop already because I downloaded it, and it's pretty much just, I need to close these emails as well. It's pretty much just the PCAP file for this challenge. No emails. Just the traffic analysis. Now, because it talks about infection, I sort of think that the easy button here is to run this PCAP file against something like Snort or Suricata. I do have a couple VMs here that we can check, but Suricata is only installed with the, I think, with the Security Onion instance. Anyways, I do want to check out Security Onion and how it performs with the import PCAP, just to see something different, and then we can start from there after getting potentially some alerts while this is booting up. And this is great for practicing and the challenge, but you shouldn't upload your traffic to sites like the next one that I'm going to show. Packet total is my easy button for these challenges. When I don't have a VM at hand and I want to run Zeek and Suricata against the PCAP file, this is probably the easiest way and the fastest way to do it. Let me just see. I'm going to drag and drop the PCAP file here. And actually there's some traffic analysis PCAP uploaded here. Analyze. So you can see here previous uploads. And the reason why this is really, really cool is the malicious activity and suspicious activity part, which will contain the alerts for Suricata. So what we have here is, yeah, so the suspicious activity, I think it's from the Zeek notices or the weird. I'm not sure which one. Either weird.log or notice.log. This looks like weird because it has like invalid server cert and all these errors. This is, most cases, is just noise. So I'm not really concerned about this part here. But the malicious activity tab is the one that contains the Suricata alerts. And couple of alert types are the ones that I'm looking at when I do any sort of analysis like this, and I want to know if there's known malicious traffic in it. The emerging threat Trojan one, definitely something that you want to check out. If you have the commercial subscription from Proofpoint for emerging threats, then there's also the current events, and there's malware. So these categories, when I see it, it's bad. It's definitely, because it's they have very, very good signatures, and with a very good precision, they are able to identify from the network traffic if there's malicious traffic present. So this alert occurs multiple times. How is this ordered? So this is 2021 December 3rd and 21 December 3rd. What was the timestamp? I forgot to check it. So this goes backwards in time. So this is the first timestamp here for an executable download. And EC policy is a category that I'm not really concerned, but when I see that it's about file download for an executable or a DLL, that's definitely something I want to check out. And what we can see here on the time scale is that we had at 7:43 6 seconds an executable downloaded, and then we have this Trojan abuse Dridex related CNC traffic alert. So just within a couple seconds, we have an executable downloaded, and then the IDS, Suricata IDS, alerts us that we see Dridex C2 traffic potentially in the network stream. I wouldn't say that this is a coincidence. So these are probably good initial timestamps. And that's why I think it's a good starting point. So whenever you know that there's an infected system, you can leverage what is already available from intelligence sources, in this case, from your signatures. And as you can see here, this is triggering on, well, something that is supposed to be encryption traffic, but there are some ways to still identify a host based on like fingerprinting values or the server name indication, and you can create a signature based on that. In this case, I would also say that the the certificate is kind of lazy. So the common name is example.com. Really? Like, not even trying. Out of Department Global Security. I think this is the default. When you use OpenSSL and you just hit on the defaults, this is probably what you're gonna get. Kind of looks familiar, at least. So that's probably the case here. And this is quick and dirty. However, again, never upload your actual internal traffic to these sites unless you have like maybe a service agreement and it's a paid service, and you are 100% sure that no one else sees it. But make sure that you read the fine print as well, because Sometimes you might think that I have a private service and I get all the extra features, and you just assume that no one else is going to look at the samples submitted. But that's not the case, not with all the sites at least. I'm looking at this site over here without any further details. So just read the fine print, because you might have unpleasant surprises. All right, so we identified here that we have this IP address here, the 10.12.366. So this is probably going to be our infected endpoints. And we see already 3 potentially malicious IP addresses. There's some additional lookups that we can perform. So we can do a whois lookup from here, opening a search, geolocate it, if you're into that kind of thing. And this is a great starting point. Now, for the offline method, you either install Suricata or you install something like Security Onion. And I have this one. I just installed this afternoon today. I just need to check the IP address here. What is the, oops, sorry. Shift in the function key here, or just do it like this. Why is it not? I can see the IP address actually on top. So I'm going to SSH here because I want to import in the PCAP, and I wonder if I can access the main interface of my Security Onion. If not, then this is going to be a colossal fail, but it's okay. Okay, it's good so far. Admin at the super secret password. All right. So right now I shouldn't have anything included in here, but we can import in PCAP files. And ooh, that's interesting. Add a job. Okay, but this is not actually adding the PCAP through the interface. At least it doesn't look like it. So like I said, I'm not that familiar with the new version of Security Onion, and I need to poke around a little bit. But our goal is to load in the PCAP file, and there's an so import PCAP command or something like that. I wonder what this is about. What I think this is more to search in the PCAP than upload it. I think for ingestion, I still need to SSH into the box. So let me open up a terminal here. And then we're going to SSH as admin. And then I'm going to download the PCAP and we'll try to import it in. Okay. Cool. So where is that? Where's that PCAP file? The link address. wget. Alrighty, and then I wonder if it requires sudo. Let's do it with sudo. So import PCAP. You can also import now EVTX files. That's pretty cool. I haven't tried that one. That's for a future stream maybe. And ownate. It's a zip. So first I need to unzip it. Password infected. Cool. We have now the PCAP file, and by the way, in Security Onion, I just want to make sure that I have all the services running, because if I don't have Logstash, I'm not sure even if it's going to do the So Suricata disabled. I wonder if that's a problem. Start. Going to experiment with this one. Oh, it might be intentional, so this is probably a bad idea. Well, it doesn't really matter. So now I have Zeek running here, but I don't think it's necessary because I think it's just going to read back the PCAP file with the import. Let's take a look at what the import does, but I'm just going to go now with the PCAP and I want to ingest it. Import PCAP. I think this is it. We'll see. If not, then it fails and it will tell us what we're doing incorrectly. So what it does is it will not replay the PCAP file. So this is not like TCP replay, but it's going to import in the PCAP file and make sure that all the... So now it's analyzing the traffic with Suricata. I think it's just using the -R option, and it will generate all the alerts and all the logs from Suricata, and then does the same thing with Zeek. And then you probably cannot see any of the fonts here. Try to increase this a little bit, and it's going to adjust the timestamps. Wow, this is taking a lot of time. Maybe it was a mistake to start up the Zeek one. Let's see. I do hunt and go last 24 weeks. Does it already have something in here? I think it's still working on it. Okay, import is complete. And it said it analyzed it with Zeek as well. And it gives us a URL here. Normally, this is the time frame that we need to look at. I wonder why it didn't find the events. I need to go to the alerts tab. Ah, okay, there it is. It just takes time to load it in. So this is the new interface. Whenever I say new, it's more new to me because I think I tried it a couple of times, just experimented with it, but I haven't really have Security Onion now running in production. Something that I would like to change as soon as possible because the new interface is absolutely awesome. They have their own query language, which is very close to the Kibana query language that the whole thing is based on, but it's not exactly a Kibana query language. So they have their own fields, and you can do the querying using the interface. They have the time picker here, but it's more customized towards the Security Onion usage and Zeek and Suricata mainly. Plus they have other tools integrated like Wazoo and I think also OS Query. And if I'm not mistaken, these should be clickable. Okay, so we can look for, I'm just interested in alerts. So I guess only is what I want. Okay, cool. So I have here the alerts, and the signatures here are probably even more recent than the packet total ones. And this is what I mentioned here. So Joffrey hash is an excellent way to do the identification of even encrypted traffic. And here, this is an emerging threat rule for the Joffrey hash. Looking at possible DryDex here, just like we saw it with the other one here, the abuse CH SSL one, which I think is probably the same. Then suspicious domain request for possible COVID-19 domain. get a handshake failure, some tracker, and there's the abuse ch1 again. There's the download. So we see exactly the same things with almost a couple milliseconds precision as we saw it with PacketTotal. So this would be the proper and offline way of doing it, or you just have Suricata installed. Installing Suricata is actually fairly easy to do. All you need to have is just the proper repos added to your sources list, and then you can just on a Debian or Ubuntu-based distro do an apt install on it. But Security Onion is nice eye candy, and I think I don't have the link anymore. I'm probably going to bookmark the whole thing here so I can go back later if needed. You not only have Suricata, but there's also Zeek, and Zeek is amazing. The original name for Zeek was Bro. They changed it a couple of years ago to make it politically correct or like more inclusive. By the way, the original name Bro came from the Orwellian Big Brother kind of concept, and not the males greeting at each other kind of a bro expression. So I'm not sure why they changed it, but we have Zeek now, or I think in German speaking countries I hear people referring it as Seek, and I also hear it from some of the core light folks who are developing the open source tool Zeek. So we have here all the various Zeek logs, and there's also a breakdown here by the various Zeek types. Now, Zeek is more like a more tool that provides you more context, so it's not just alerts. Actually, you don't have alerts, but it's more of a tool that is in between alerts and PCAP files. So here we can take a look at the data and do a higher level analysis and decide that based on that we would like to, for example, go back to the PCAP file and check out more details related to that. I think there should be also a way to access the PCAP portion. We'll figure it out. So now I'm filtering for just DNS because the part that I'm interested in is more of the domains here. If I can find it. It's query. I wonder if they renamed the fields for DNS. DNS query name. Okay. Whenever it's present, I would like to see it. Oh, I need to click on it. And then say, wait, but it's not gonna be, can I do include or only? Not sure what's gonna happen with, yeah, no, this is not what I want. I do want to have DNS, but probably I need to do some sort of selection here. So can I do just DNS query by name, and then so this is the part where I'm really these are previous queries. I'm really struggling to write a query here, and I just click around with the Onion query language because I do want to have a grouping here. Maybe I can do group by, oops, not typing. It's weird. Group by DNS dot query dot name. I don't think I need this part here. Yay! It worked. So it's kind of intuitive. what I'm doing here is just like before we looked at the http.host, I am browsing through all the various domains queried and see if I can spot something that sticks out, that looks suspicious. So there's probably a desktop computer name. I'm pretty sure this one belongs to the infected one, so just take a note of this one. So I'm going to just put this one aside. Forgot to take note of the alerts. So I'm also going to just grab maybe these like this for start of infection. And I also want to grab this IP address here. So it's a question mark. If these two are related, we can look at DHCP messages and make sure. And then I had these two alerts here. What is this part? Yeah, I think this is not part of the alert. Okay, so two alerts, probably the start of the infection, first C2, and then this host name here. So what else do we have? These are WPAN messages, secure server, Gmail, Norton. Okay, this is something that is a .vn domain. I'm not sure if that's legitimate, but looks kind of suspicious. And there's not a lot of interesting stuff here. Well, there can be multiple things in play here. I wonder if we have like DNS over HTTPS in place in this traffic, and that's why we don't see that many domains being looked up. But this is a fairly short list. We can also move on to HTTP maybe, and I don't want to do a group by here, so http.host is, I think, or virtual host is another thing that we can do. Again, another group by. Start some music here. So here I'm going to do http dot. I'm pretty sure there's a host as well, but they probably renamed it. So underscore host. And okay, only two, but none of them looks very convincing to me. So we have games.shop with a typo, and then a news search. So again, something that is a typo here. These two look very, very suspicious to me, so I'm going to take a note of this. And because we only have these two, I guess the list of HTTP requests is not particularly long here either. So all the rest apparently goes just directly to the to this IP address. There's another one here, instead of going to an actual domain. I would say that's also unusual, but we can take a note of these two. So I'm just gonna move this one aside and do the note-taking part. And I wonder what's with this one. I'm just gonna put a question mark here. Okay. I kind of like this. I like where we're headed. So we have these two alerts here, two domains with typos in there doing HTTP. So this is some HTTP traffic here. And then this is also HTTP traffic, but it's just an IP address. So we need to do further analysis on that one. And we saw one desktop computer here. And oh yeah, so this IP address was tied to these alerts. So the question is if these two are related, because if it is, then we have our system here. I'm gonna go back to the PCAP file now, because we have a pretty good idea on what happened initially. And I can filter now for just HTTP traffic for starters. We already have here on top these two domains that we saw earlier in the Zeek logs. And looking at the request here, that also looks just super suspicious here. So looks like some sort of WordPress site here with additional content, or it goes to the VP content WordPress, one on WordPress URL. It's probably not something that has to do with WordPress. And is this chunk encoded? Yeah, so chunk encoding is here. Let me just do a different kind of. Well, it doesn't really affect the decoding part, but we have the link indicators here for chunked. And I don't like it, but it looks like a single chunk. So just to be prudent, instead of TCP stream reassembly, let me do an HTTP stream reassembly. And I got rid of the chunks here, but yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. And suspected phishing site Cloudflare. Okay, we're not looking anything interesting here. So this, by the time the traffic was created, was already blocked by Cloudflare apparently. This is pretty common, like I said, so we're not gonna get anything useful out of this one. Okay, but this happens all the time with me. If I'm not fast enough, then yeah, the site might be already blocked. So let's do the other domain here. This looks better. We have a nice nice executable download here. So I'm gonna mark this one potentially interesting. Maybe even which one was this? Yeah, we can take a look at this stream later. And let me just record also the URL. All right. So this could be something interesting. I forgot to take note of the external IP here for these. So let's go back here. Maybe we have, we already have it on our list. So this first one has this as a sender IP. It's going to add this one. This. Yeah, so this is the same one. Which means this is probably the alert on this download. That's pretty cool. Oops. I'm going to move this one like this. So these are pieces of our timeline here. Not really good timeline. So I'm kind of freestyling here. That's why my my notes are so so messy and hard to make any sense out of it. But hopefully you can follow along the whole method. And again, if I'm making something that is unclear, or you don't get how I'm getting from point A to point B, just let me know in the chat, and I'm happy to explain any question that you have. Happy to explain how I got to a given result, or if you would like to see something else, just let me know, and we can also do the analysis on that. So, all right, I'm kind of happy with this one. Let's try to figure out, based on maybe DHCP, the connection between the host. There's a DHCP request and the IP address, and we have here the host name. So this is the same host name, I think, not following the stream. So this is the same host name as we saw earlier. Okay. And who is the requester in this case? So IP address 3.66. 3.66. Okay, so these are the one and the same. So this is our affected system. And as we saw it in the previous PCAP analysis, we can also identify the user here using Kerberos. Somewhere it's here, so let's see. So this is coming from the same system, the compromised system, and looks like Darin Figuera is the user associated with this one. So we have these details. We see that we have some DrideX C2 activity. We had an executable downloaded here. Probably should grab that one and do some further analysis on that one. And I think we're doing pretty well for the question. So IP address of the infected Windows computer, we have it. Host name of the infected Windows computer, we have that one too. The username. Date and time the infection activity began, we have that one sort of. I mean, we still don't know how the system got the how they got to that malicious domain and why they downloaded the file, but we do know that there was a download and then kicking off that binary. Potentially we'll check on that binary, doing a quick check on like virus tool or something like that. And family of malware, so we already saw traces of DrideX, and I think we're doing quite well on this one as well. What was I saying before is we can probably get the HTTP part, and we still need to figure out the delivery. Now there's this first domain, frame contains. I wonder if it occurs anywhere else. Ah, there's an extra space there. So just in the HTTP traffic. Interesting. No DNS needed. Right, you just go to the domain. Okay, same for this. That's already pretty unusual. And we can grab the file. That's one potential thing to do. Export object HTTP. Ooh. It's probably because of the chunk encoding, but I think if I grab this one, should be sufficient. Let's do this one here. I'm gonna drop this to the desktop. Because YOLO. And I'm just checking if Defender is still sleepy and not triggering on this. Would be interesting. Actually, I can turn it back on and see what it says. Well, I just go to virus total. And I'm going to do the same thing as before. So I'm just going to do a check on the hash itself. Just to reinforce good habits. But I could also submit the file. Okay, this is interesting. It scans completely clean. It probably didn't do the extraction properly. Okay, there are different ways to do this. I think the chunk encoding doesn't really help with this. Does it have chunk encoding here? No, this is just standard. I wonder why is it not? Could this be? I don't think this is harmless though. But I don't like the size here. This is off. Or I'm extracting the wrong file here. Follow TCP stream. I could do the manual carving, by the way, so. But I would need I would need some tools that I don't have it on my my system. But I have a better idea. What if? Now I'm cheating a little bit, but actually this one you can do it with the free version. But I'm going to bring in a tool that is really designed to carve out files and see how that performs. So the tool that I will bring up is Network Miner. So Network Miner has a free version. I have the license for the professional one. In this case, it's all the same. So there's no real difference between using the professional one and the free one, because what I want to do is just do a file extraction. I can find the... I'm going to feed in a PCAP file to this. And we'll see what comes back from this. That's much better. So I see here the file. What did Wireshark try to extract here? And I'm just curious. Maybe it's because of my filter. Ah, could have been my filter. Let me just try to do this again. And I was extracting the wrong file. No one said anything that I'm extracting. So okay, Wireshark kind of fails here miserably. So this file then was just the page of Cloudflare blocking it. That's all I downloaded here. And for some reason, Wireshark fails here miserably for the reconstruction. I wonder if it's just this version of Wireshark or me or both. There's a nice DLL here. There's also a manual way to reconstruct it from Wireshark. Basically, you need to save the bytes, and then I wonder if it works. We can do it. I think we can barely do it with maybe Notepad. I will attempt to do the same thing with Notepad, and we'll see if I get the same results back. But with Network Miner, it's much easier because it can do the extraction much better when it comes to carving out objects from a file, from PCAP that is. And I can just go and open the folder, and we have here this nice DLL carved out. Potentially malicious, so be careful. And I'm going to check this hash now. Okay, this looks much better. This is the actual malware, not the we're sorry, but this page was already removed message. There's some community signatures here. So this one marks it as emotet. Yeah, these are Cloudflare ones. Okay, so at this point I'm not 100% sure if it's emotet, or maybe it's emotet and then we haven't seen the portion where it also drops Tridex there. Or it's just not a correct identification or of either the traffic or the binary itself. Doesn't really matter. So based on the score itself, definitely not something that we would like to see on a computer. And then hey, Friezo, and then I guess you have X03 in your name. Thank you for the follow. Where was I? So we have the DLL. We have identified the C2 traffic. We have the victim details. I think we're in a pretty good shape. There was something else I wanted to check. Oh yeah, the manual carving. Okay, I'm not sure this will work, but basically, if you want to do the manual carving, and this is much better with tools like binary less or ghex editor. I don't have any proper editors here, but I kind of hope that maybe, I'm not sure if I have the right plugin here. I'll try to get like a hex editor plugin here. What happened? We'll see if this one will work. Not sure if this is really something that will get the desired results here. But let's try to do manual carving. So the idea with manual carving is that you reassemble the stream. And we're going to have the headers in our way. Now, just to make it easier, I can say I don't need the request part. I just want to get the response here. So I can choose one side, but this is still ASCII. And I need to get, where's raw? I need to get the raw bytes. So I can save this one. Let's name this carved or something like this. And now I need to go back and delete, or maybe I can identify here if I'm really really good, the bytes, and just I'm not sure if you can selectively save it, but I need to go to the file and that I carved out, and I need to, no, this is the DL, but I'll need this one, and I'll try to open this one in Notepad. And normally if I just get rid of this part here, and if Notepad is binary save, I should get the same hash. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure that this is going to work. But let's take a note. I have Notepad here. So I'm going to get the file hash here for this one, because I forgot to put this one aside. So the file hash here for this, and then I am going to attempt to calculate the file hash for carved. Was this the same? I can't remember. Yeah, okay. Wow, fabulous. So you could do it with Wireshark. Takes a bit of extra work. So the steps again, you reassemble the stream and you need to save the raw bytes, but you have the headers there. So you need to open it with an editor that is binary safe. And that allows you then to save the file and reconstruct it. So this is the same thing that a network miner does, but this kind of manual carving is useful in cases where you don't have network miner, or you don't want to have network miner, or you just want to do it because it's a one-time thing with Wireshark. So that's manual carving for you. Yay, and it worked using Notepad apparently. Okay. What else? I think we're in a pretty good shape. Yeah, one more thing that I wanted to check on the initial infection. So we have this here, and if I don't know, filter, maybe prepare filter selected, and we're going to look at both sides of any conversation for this system, because I just want to see like where the initial compromise came from. There's a lot of internal traffic noise here. I'm gonna take a note of the frame number here. 1771. So around the time something must have happened. Or not, maybe it's not there, I'm not sure. So we have the download here. And these are just SMB, HTTP, okay. Wink. Where's the request for this one? Okay, so there was also the game shop one that preceded the second attempt. That kind of makes sense, yeah. We saw that one too. And then what's this? There's just this connection attempt. There's the lookup. I'm not sure why we didn't see this one. Maybe you cannot do frame contains because that looks for bytes, and in DNS it's not how it's represented. Maybe if I search for just games instead of the .shop, I would have found it. But okay, there's DNS resolution there. And that kind of explains. And before that, there's some traffic on live. Yeah, I'm not sure this PCAP contains how the system got infected. Wonder if we have any sort of mail traffic here. So this is IMAP. Yeah, none of these look really interesting. I mean, could it? It's definitely not pop free. Oh, interesting. So what do we have here? I think this is just Dovecot ready, Dovecot ready. Okay. Wonder what Network Miner says on the messages part. We have some spam here. What's the protocol here? But this is the source. So our desktop computer seems to be the source here for these spam messages. Timestamp is, so this is after the infection. This is not the source of the infection, but I think it's when the malware kicks in and then tries to spread. We also have here a zip file. There's a password. So yeah, this is, I think it tries to further spread. These are definitely bad stuff. You can also check these. I'm going to open this in folder. Ah, cool, and we have the messages here. What was the password? I'm just gonna grab this one here. Cool. So we extracted the paid malicious content. This can help in the identification of the malware because it tries to spread. Where do we have that? Oh, this is just one. Okay, so that's one out of the 3 different ones, but let's try to get this on VirusTotal and check it. This is a quick verification. Okay, malicious, surprisingly. And what do we have here? So this one also looks like Emotet related. So at this point, I'm not 100% sure what we're looking at. We'll look at the solution at the end. And we had the other files here. Let me just get some real estate on my desktop. Just going to close a couple of files here and folders. Okay, so that was one. What about these other ones? On this in folder. And I have to be very careful not to click on open file. So, because then I'm going to infect my own computer. Oh no, I want to have just a hash. Just a hash, please. Okay. This one kind of also looks like Emotet-ish. So this is some sandbox analysis. Behavior. Okay, so these are what it potentially tries to connect out to. Yeah, I'm still hesitant on the mover, and we're not going to do the reversing part here for sure. Especially that we're almost approaching the end. Just for the kick of it, I'm going to check the last file here as well. Okay. Yeah, kind of same results. But it could be, I mean, it could be both easily. So families that we see, Dridex C2 communication and Emotet payloads or potential droppers after the infection. So this is 8 o'clock, 15-ish. While we had the initial infection starting like about 15 minutes-ish before 8. So this kicks in, and then we have C2 communication for quite a while, if I remember correctly. We have all these C2 messages. Looks like it's beaconing like every 10-ish minutes, and then yeah, I think this is related to the the emails that are being sent out. And some more C2 here. Okay, I think this is pretty close to what we can find out about this PCAP. We saw these two. There's some SMTP traffic here. I think this is probably just related to the spamming activity that we see here in Network Miner. So to sum it up, we saw credentials also. Okay, this is pretty with the hash value and challenges. I had no idea that this was included in the Network Miner password or credential field. So to sum it up, we saw the infection, but we don't know the initial source of compromise really. So somehow the request was made for that. First the games domain, then the other one that I can't even remember, and we got the DLL downloaded by the endpoint, and then it started walking out to that IP. We haven't checked the C2 domain. Maybe we will be able to see something there for this IP address. So IP.address equals this. If there's a server name indication or anything like that, at the very beginning, which yeah, there's nothing in the client hello. Yeah, in that case, I think that's the reason why in the alerts, it only alerted on the Joffrey hash, which by the way, you can actually include in Wireshark as well with a plugin. So I do have it here. But that's the C2 here. Okay, and what I said about beaconing was completely incorrect because this is very, very chatty. It's just the alert, so it's not the actual activity there. But it's encrypted, so just by looking at the PCAP after the fact, we won't be able to see this. I would call it in, and we can check the results or the solution for this one to see if we did everything correctly. So I think we can answer most of the questions. I wonder if I search it like this, then do we have the solution? December forensic challenge. What do we have the solution here? Just forensics challenge. I guess we have to look it up here in Marvel traffic analysis. December. No, maybe in the traffic analysis exercises. There it is. Yeah, answers and analysis. That's the one. Okay. So the solution was emotet. So I think and it kind of makes sense. The alerts that we had were the less precise ones because they identified it as Tridex. But based on all the payloads that we saw, yeah, you have a greater confidence on all the vendors and all the detection that you can find and all the intelligence that you can find here. Maybe that same server or same server configuration was used in a campaign that used Tridex instead of emotet. Not sure what happened here, but on encrypted traffic and Joffrey hashes, it's never going to be perfect. So the fact that this is misidentified by Suricata. Let me see if I still have the link here. As Tridex is not surprising, and it's not a problem. Like, you really need a starting point here in this case, and just identify where you need to pay attention to. So if you imagine that this is not just how can I? Oh, come on, give it to me. Give it the menu. Get the menu here. Oh. It's playing with me now. It's toying with me. Okay, so only Suricata. So if you have a large environment and you need to find the one compromised endpoint, this is still very useful because even though it misidentifies the malware family, it's still going to be a good starting point for you if you have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of endpoints in an environment. So I'm still happy with these results, and I consider this still as a good solution. And later with the identification of the DLL and the attachments, we could say that okay, this is probably more like emotet than Tridex. On the IP address, I think we got this one correctly. Yep. What about the laptop name? It's also here. Then there's the username, and we marked this as the first event, which is off by just a couple seconds. And the reason for that is, and probably the more precise timestamp here would be the first time the system reaches out to an attacker-controlled domain. Even though this is blocked by Cloudflare, I think this timestamp here is the one that we have in the official solution. Yeah, so same exact timestamp here. See? And it is true that this is already the malware kicking in and trying to download, or maybe it was manual, I'm not sure. Maybe it was just Brad using the dropper on the system, and it tries to connect out to this system, this domain initially, and then yeah, so this is emotet. The environment, okay, we haven't really gone into details on the environment itself, but if you go back to like DHCP and you look at the request here, you will see the client, and then on the acknowledgement part you'll be able to identify the DNS, the domain controller rather, but these were not in the among the questions for the challenge, so I think it's not an issue that we haven't found it. So I think we also saw the spam bot traffic. I wonder if he extracted the attachments there. Yeah, so we saw this one, the pharmacy one is here. That's this one here. Then we just used, instead of extracting it with Wireshark, which you can do, by the way. So if you're interested in that, under the file extractor in export objects, the IMF one will give you the same exact files, and well, these are all EML ones, so you still have to do some post-processing or open it up in a client like Thunderbird or Outlook, and then get out the attachment, or use a tool that gets you the attachment. Normally everything will be base64 encoded there, I think, most of it, so that's not a difficult task to reconstruct it manually. I'm not going to do it because yeah, we're already approaching the end of the stream, and I wanna just wrap up things. So that's pretty much all that we had time for. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new here. If you liked it, let me know in the chat. I see that still plenty of you are watching the stream. If you have any questions, ask me now, or you have to wait until Wednesday. So I'm going to just check, and as we approach the end of the stream, we also need to decide if we want to rate someone. I don't know if we have anyone up and running, so I will start looking at how can I leave? I wonder, go to channel page. Okay, let's try this. So I'm going to try to figure out who we can raid. Oh, Tiberius is online. Tiberius is online? That's weird. So Tiberius potentially is a good candidate. I think we're just going to... So if nobody says who we should raid, I'm going to go with the easy option. Even though Tiberius already has plenty of people in his stream, I don't have anyone else on my list. Just other streams that have even more viewers, so. Okay, I don't see any suggestions. So Tiberius, he's usually doing some try hack me's. So if you want to continue the learning, and I think he was doing some try hack me HoloNet stuff, so we can continue from that point and see Tiberius's stream. For this one, I plan to look into some of the other traffic analysis exercises, but that's going to be for another time. And then maybe for next time, when we do traffic analysis and maybe pick some of these, then I will show you some more manual ways of running these tools instead of using something like Security Onion. There's also one tool that I like a lot, but it's a commercial one, but I think it's worth checking out. Cap Loader, we haven't used it with this stream, but it's a really awesome tool as well. So plenty of things to explore. There are also some interesting PCAPs that are not these a bit a bit like isolated and in a petri dish type of environment, but a larger environment, a larger honeypot system from Stratosphere Labs, and they have some pretty cool new PCAP files as well. So we can also check out those, and they also have the Zeek logs and circular logs pre-generated. So those are also interesting things to check out. For the, and let me just change the view. So for the reminder of the week, on Wednesday, I plan to play around a bit with flaws, and especially flaws 2. I'm not sure if we're going to do flaws, but it's a good starting point, so we might do it. And it's been a while I checked this one out, but I never checked out flaws 2, so I want to check that one. And it also has a more like defender oriented, so if time allows it, then we're also going to check that part out, even though Wednesdays are more dedicated for offensive security. Or if we don't have time, then we can do it next Monday. And then Friday, I plan to do just fun stuff. And that involves putting together an attacker tool that I plan to use in the next Wi-Fi engagement. So we need to check if it's feasible to build, how it works on a battery. I'm also going to set up some easy to attack a Wi-Fi network, and we'll try to attack it with that little device, which is like a Ponagochi, but it's a tenable project that they have on GitHub. Still, normally it should be 0 soldering, and the form factor is about the same. And I think it's more like for actual assessments and not just walk around and, I don't know, Ponagochi always scares me. Like I don't know it that well, but I also have the components for a Ponagochi. So we might do that one, depending on how time allows us to do it. Okay, this is going to be all for today. I need to figure out how to raid. So that's the only difficulty here. Okay, normally we should just we should be able just to do it like this. So I'm going to set the raid. We're going to visit Tiberius and his little branch, see what they're doing there, and then hope to see you, a lot of you, in the upcoming days. Or if you're just interested in the blue team stuff, then we're trying to do this every Monday. Thank you for staying and checking out the entirety of the stream. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the chat which kind of topics you would like to know. You can also reach us through all the other channels that are listed down below in the channel description, in the panels. So we are on Twitter, Facebook, kinda, not really monitoring it. So Twitter is probably the best way to like do some asks if we're offline. We also have a YouTube channel. Currently, there are only just walkthroughs of CTFs there, but if you want to check those out, that's also pretty good. And yeah, if you liked it, then make sure that you also follow us and do a subscription. That way you get notified when we go live. But normally we're gonna keep the same time frame, so we do 3-hour stream, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then we'll see some extras. This weekend, I also plan to do a longer stream on putting together a Prusa Mini 3D printer, but it doesn't really fit in any of the topics. So that's probably going to take more than 6 hours. And that's why it's going to be a separate stream, maybe on Saturday evening, afternoon. I try to drag Ava as well to help me assemble that thing, because the official time is 6 hours, but I'm pretty sure we will spend way more than that to assemble the 3D printer, because I ordered the kit version because I'm an idiot. but we will manage it, even if it takes like half a day instead of 6 hours. Okay, let's go. Let's raid the other channel, and see you maybe on Wednesday. Bye.